Hello fans, collectors, investors, welcome back to Iconic Baseball. I'm Iconic Al, and we are back into the countdown today. This is my list of the 100 greatest and most iconic ball players in baseball history. Today's episode is very important. They all are now. We are at number 24 on the list, and this is a monumental figure in the hobby, in the game, particularly for my generation, 90s kids. To us, he was Mickey Mantle. I mean, he was the most popular player with the sweetest swing, and he had the cool factor. You know, everyone wanted to be this guy when they were in the backyard playing wiffle ball. He was the man, but you may know him more as the kid. Of course, I'm talking about the great Ken Griffey Jr.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
They get a hold of this game, then all of a sudden, everybody's Ken Griffey Jr. They get my vertical. They got my wheels. They even gave away my patented swing.
It's a whole new ball game. Ken Griffey Jr.'s winning run with ACM Graphics, only on Super NES.
Here you go, Mr. Griffey.
Sorry, kid. Car sold separately.
Ken Griffey Jr., the most loved and collected baseball player of the 90s. I drew a parallel to Mickey Mantle in the intro, and I really believe that there are many similarities. And from a hobby standpoint, they both peaked in popularity during very important times in the history of baseball cards. Mickey Mantle really peaked in popularity back in the 50s during a time when baseball cards were really coming into their own. A golden age, if you will, in design, in popularity, and who was the most popular player? It was Mickey Mantle. In a similar way, Ken Griffey Jr. rose to prominence during a decade of the 90s where we saw the rise of inserts, numbered parallels in general, relic cards, pack-pulled autos. The hobby was expanding and exploding in ways that we had never seen before, and who was the most popular player? Ken Griffey Jr. He was a pop culture icon and a five-tool talent that really captivated a generation. I know because that was my generation. For my generation, he was the epitome of cool, with his backwards hat, his bubble gum, always seemed to have a smile on his face, and that powerful, effortless left-handed swing was a thing of beauty. Maybe the most beautiful swing in the history of the sport. Jr. was a special talent. He compiled 83.8 WAR over a 21-year career that was injury-riddled, especially toward the end. Despite that, he hit .284 with a .370 on-base percentage. He compiled 2,781 hits, a massive 630 home runs, winning the home run title 4 times. He knocked in 1,836 runs and stole 184 bases. He won the MVP award in 1997 and won 10 Gold Glove awards for his excellence in center field. He was a 13-time All-Star, and he won the Home Run Derby 3 times. The modern metrics only confirm his greatness, with a 907 OPS and a 136 OPS plus. Despite his excellence, his career lacks a World Series title. However, there are 3 distinct iconic moments that jump out to me when I think about Ken Griffey Jr.'s career. The first of which was back in 1990, when he robbed Jesse Barfield of a home run, scaling the center field wall, leaping up, and snatching the ball out of midair. I mean, just that image of him smiling, running back, holding the ball up, that was a really fun thing to watch. And he was a fun player to watch. Another amazing feat was when the father-son combination of Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. hit back-to-back home runs on September 14th, 1990. Ken Griffey Sr. at age 40, followed by Ken Griffey Jr. at age 20, the youngest player in Major League Baseball at the time, succeeded in going back-to-back, the first time a father-son combination has ever hit back-to-back home runs in a Major League game. Just one of those timeless, made-for-TV occurrences that I just love. And I think Griffey's most iconic moment came in the 1995 ALDS when he scored on the double from Edgar Martinez, propelling the Mariners into the ALCS, and arguably saving the franchise at that time, which was in trouble. In that ALDS, by the way, Griffey hit .391, hitting 5 home runs and 7 RBI in 5 games. So Griffey certainly had the clutch factor, seemed to come alive in the postseason, despite few opportunities. Now, as you can see, I have more items for Ken Griffey Jr. than I do for most players on the countdown, and that's just because he was king of the hobby during some very formative years in my collecting. And this just reflects that nostalgia that I still have for 90s cards and 90s designs. So let's get into it here. But first, let's look at this signed baseball. This is a really nice Playing Days signature for Ken Griffey Jr. And as you can see, his autograph is a thing of beauty. I think another parallel you can draw with Mickey Mantle is they both have beautiful signatures, iconic signatures, took great care in signing their name. Ken Griffey Jr. still does, and does still sign quite a bit. The reason I like this ball is because it comes from his Playing Days, and it's an American League baseball. And anybody who follows the Griffey market knows that items of him pictured on the Mariners consistently sell better, higher, and are more popular, because really those were his prime years with the Mariners. So those are items that I definitely target, as opposed to his Reds days, which were more injury riddled. But just a beautiful ballpoint signature there. One of the nicest autos in the hobby. Okay, moving on to some of these SP buybacks. This is a beautiful 94 SP. It's kind of dark, you get it in the right light, you can see it actually is quite a nice autograph. Numbered out of 182 on this one. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I just love these 90s SP designs. Basically every year. They were premium sets. As a kid growing up in the hobby, these were pricey, unattainable cards. And so really in the last, 5 or 10 years, whenever I've seen one of these at a reasonable price, I've just gone for it. If it was cheap and reasonable, that's why I've kind of accumulated some of these SP buybacks, because they hit all the boxes for me as a collector. Really nice 96 SP buyback. This one's numbered to 312. And this is from a celebration after that 95 ALDS victory. You can see him there in the clubhouse getting sprayed with champagne. Definitely highlights probably what was the pinnacle of Griffey's career. Just love that image. These all have the Upper Deck hologram on the back. But just beautiful designs. Very tough to find in good condition with the foil and the black corners here, but really nice. Love these cards. And here we have the 95 SP design. Really nice autograph on all these. You can't have too many Griffey buybacks. At least that's my mentality. And then last but not least among the autos, I mean, look at this thing. 1999 SP Chirography. Probably my #1 most favorite on-card auto from the 90s. The design of that card and how clean and crisp and bold that signature is. Man, just a beautiful set. And it was almost like this was tailor-made. This set was tailor-made for Griffey. All right, then moving on. to the rookie cards. Let's go to this one. It's kind of hiding back here. This is a 1989 Bowman Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card. This was the year they sort of resurrected the Bowman brand. They came out with this beautiful set of great portrait shots. They're oversized cards. And then Ken Griffey Jr. happened to have a rookie card in this first set. These are, you know, prime high pop wax era. So they are cheap, many of them out there. But the reason I have this is really just because I like the design. I like the portrait. I think it's a really nice looking card. And then here we have arguably the card of a generation. Another parallel between Mickey Mantle and Ken Griffey Jr. You have the 52 Mantle, which that was a card of a generation. And even though this will never hold the value of a 52 Mantle, you could argue that the iconic status of the player and the image is similar. And I think this card will always hold an importance in the hobby. It's, I think, the most graded card of all time, having been graded 100,000 times. There are, you know, theories that there are probably over 1 million of these printed. But regardless, it's still a card that, you know, it's a must-have in anyone's collection. And this is in a PSA 9. And I just like having a nice example in my collection. And last but not least, a beautiful example of what I like to call the golden age of inserts. A 1996 Bowman's Best refractor of Griffey, right during his prime years with the Mariners. And just a really beautiful card. And I've really been drawn to these in recent years just because of the low populations on these. I mean, this thing, I'll put the population up on the left here, but man, this thing is beautiful, scarce, collectible. There are lots of people now really seeking out these low pop 90s refractors, especially for players like Griffey. And I think this will hit a sweet spot going forward with low supply and continuing to garner more and more demand. But yeah, I love that card. Would have been a dream card when I was a kid. And that's the beauty of the hobby. You can go back and sort of acquire some things that, you know, bring you joy, bring you nostalgia, and bring you back to simpler times. All right. Well, this was a really fun one. Thanks so much for joining me on the countdown. I've had a blast sharing my collection in this format. If you want to go back and find previous videos on the countdown to this point, I've added them as their own playlist on my YouTube page, so check that out. And until next time, keep collecting and stay iconic.